morning, lovelies. For today's video, I interviewed a freelance editor, Falguni Jain. We sat down and we talked about what it's like to be an editor, what issues that she has commonly seen in her clients' manuscripts, and some advice that she has for new authors. So definitely check that out. And before we get started, remember to click that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any other videos. So why don't we start by just telling us a little bit about yourself. I know that you said that you're a freelance editor. So for those who are going to be watching, what does a freelance editor do? And what's the difference between that and, say, an editor who works for a big publishing house?
Okay, so basically, an editor works with an author to, remove all the grammatical errors, the inconsistencies, whatever the plot holes are there in the story, just, polish the story a bit more. So, like when the reader is finally reading it, it should be a smooth go for the reader. Difference between a freelance editor and an editor in a publishing firm can be so the basic is that the one working in a publishing house is an employee of the house. So they get perks like that, like there are medical stuff and all the perks you get, the leaves, the bonuses, everything. So it's a pretty an exciting thing to have when you are employed. But as a freelancer, you really don't have those stuff. You just get your fees for the work you do.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, as a freelancer, you get so much more like time to work. You are flexible in the sense that you can directly talk to the author at whatever time suits both of you, and you don't have to, confine yourself to the rules and policies of a publishing house. So, working as a freelancer gave me a lot of work and life balance, and it is very fun actually.
So it's basically the difference between being self-employed versus working for a company. So my next question is, like, apparently, if memory serves, you got a degree in accounting. Um, First of
Yeah.
all, why? And second of all, how did you go from that to this?
Okay, so this was a very unexpected turn even for me, because since I was a student, like a school student, and I was in 10th standard, and I was supposed to pick up a major for myself. So the major options were art, science, and commerce. Science was definitely not my subject.
Well, yeah, gross.
I yeah, exactly. So science was a big no. Uh, Arts was considered something for not so intelligent students, to be honest, and it is still considered that. So the only option was commerce, and I liked math, so it was like okay, that was not a much thinking for me. So after I chose commerce, I completed my 12th, and then I had to go to a college, and Delhi University is the most prestigious college for BCom honors. So that was my next step. I completed my 3-year graduation. And in the last year of my graduation, I was placed in one of the big four companies, which is again something most of the students aspire to do. So I got into that company, and that was the point I realized that is not made for me. Like this field is not me, because I love to read so much. Like when I was in school, I was in college, I just made some time for myself to read, like whenever I could. But as soon as I joined the office, it was like uh, 10 to 12 hours of shift. Like that was the working timing I had, plus
Oh,
4 hours of travel. So like spending 14 to 16 hours for office, and you can't imagine to get some time for yourself. It was really bad time. I spent 9 months there. By the end of 6 months, I realized I can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
it
So
lasted longer than
I
I
was
ever
just
could.
seriously, I mean, it was very difficult. So one day, a friend of mine just said that he has written a short story and he wanted me to edit it.
Okay.
I was busy in those days. It was 12-hour shift plus my travel, everything. So, but I thought he's a friend, so come on, let's help him. I just spent one of my travel time in working on his short story, and I actually enjoyed it a lot. I mean, when I could not even pick my phone to text my friends because I was so, my eyes were so tired after all this time I've spent on the laptop. So, but when I did that story, I literally felt relaxed after doing it. So I was like, this is cool. So I edited 2 or 3 more stories of him. And then I was like, this sounds cool. I can actually, work in this field. This
Mm-hmm.
sounds exciting. This is fun. So, but obviously, I didn't have a plan. I didn't have anything. So it was difficult to see like how to move forward with it. I talk to people on Instagram, I talk to people on LinkedIn, and I just try to make contacts on how I can like go into this, what course should I do, what stuff should I do. I think in January, by the end of January, I told my counselor at my office that I wanted to leave the firm, and February and March, 2 months I spent there in the office while maintaining the contacts, building my contacts, working on this freelancing stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and also spending 12 hours in office. So that was the toughest time I ever had. But the best thing was April 6th was my last working day at the office, and 20th my work. So it was like as soon as I left my office, I started getting work. So I think I spent my time in the office quite strategically. Sorry.
Strategically, yes.
Yeah, right.
Words suck.
So
I know.
so right. So that's how I could get people to come to me and work with them. So
Nice.
that's how I switched from accounting to editing.
You realize the other options suck. Yeah.
Yeah, it literally.
Yeah. When you get a manuscript from an author, like what are some of the big problems that you look for, and what are some things that you say, like, these are the things that you need to fix before you can get this published?
There are many things to be looked on. Firstly, there is this grammar, spelling, punctuation thing. Then there is consistency. For example, a name might appear something in the initial pages, and in the middle few chapters, the name is changed, or the location is changed, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So these things matter. They are not like easily spotted, but you have to like consider everything to make sure that there is no such error left. Yeah.
So it sounds like you do more like line editing and spelling and punctuation editing rather than like the content editing of the story itself. Like you're not going to be the one who
Uh,
says this
yeah.
POV needs to change or your story structure needs a lot of work. You're more of the polishing stage.
Yeah, that as well. Like if I think a character's voice is not like similar all over, or maybe it needs more power, or but I make sure that the writer is the one who actually make the changes, and then I basic lines of line editing and copy editing.
Okay.
So I suggest those changes, and they when they have made those changes, I look again on it.
What are some of like the biggest problems that you've encountered in the manuscripts that you edit? Like some of the most common issues that tend to pop up?
Yeah, most common issues I face are mostly punctuations or use of and a lot, and those like go to words people have. So
Yeah. You
like
would think that
like
writers would be
just
better with grammar, but we're not. Okay, we suck at it.
actually actually the issue is that I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, actually the issue is that when you are writing, you often tend to like miss on these stuff. Like when I'm speaking, I'll use a lot of filler words. I'll
Mhm.
it would be not my best of my English. So yeah, that is what happens when you write as well. So you keep on missing stuff, and when you are rereading it again and again, those things also start getting missed out while you are reading. So
Mhm.
it is important that you have an other set of eye to look at it. So that can help a lot.
or several in my case. I like having like I'm no joke. I like having like 12 people at least read the manuscript before I even think about submitting it to publishing.
Yeah, that's great. Like beta readers are a great help, and more, it is great when you have like more people to look at, because you get different opinions about your book.
Mhm.
Maybe they are right, maybe they are not, but ultimately what matters is that you get a perspective of a large number of people about what they think about your story, or maybe something that you are missing and they might spot it. So that really helps.
Yeah, it does. What are your favorite books to edit, and is this different from the books that you read for pleasure?
Mostly, like I love to read and edit any kind of book, but yeah, I like to read poetries, which I avoid editing because I don't think I have that much experience. And poetry is very subjective thing, and
Mhm.
so I avoid editing poetries. But other than that, I like horror, thriller, like suspense, romance, like
One
anything
of those
which
things
can
is
keep
not
me
like the
hooked.
other.
Yeah.
So it's like you really like the scary stuff, and then you said romance. I'm just like, okay, I don't know what type of
Romance and
romances you're into,
science
but
fantasy. Yeah, I kind of like mix. One day I'm reading like Jojo Moyes and stuff like that, and the other day I'm reading like I don't know, John Callis. His psychological thrillers are like too gruesome.
okay. So you are located in India, if memory serves. What is
Yeah.
the difference between Western genre fiction and Indian fiction?
As much as I have noticed about the science fiction stuff, so in the Western culture, it is more about, as the name of your Instagram page is, dragons, zombies, and aliens. And maybe you can add, right? Maybe you can add Greek mythology and
Mhm.
time travel stuff,
Mhm.
right?
I don't think
But
that would
in
fit
India,
with the, I have a limited number of characters.
right. So yeah, in Indian science fiction stuff, it is mostly about mythology and black magic stuff, or time travel too. So yeah, this is mostly Indian stuff, but yes, we are adopting to the Western version as well. So there are more of dragons and zombies over here as well.
Nice. I'm gonna have to take Indian fiction, give that a crack one of these days. I don't think I've ever explicitly read uh, a genre fiction book by an Indian author, and I need to change that. I'm racking my brain and I'm coming up blank, and that's sad. Ay. Um,
There's a lot of mythology in Indian science fiction. So we have so many gods to worship,
oh
and they
yeah,
have
Hindu
so many
gods.
stories.
So I
Yeah.
should brush up on
So
my Hindu
there's a lot of
mythology for
content.
or Hindu religion first, and then get into it. Okay. Thanks for the tip.
Definitely.
Um, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced as an editor in terms of getting and keeping work?
I don't think mostly the challenges I have faced is in terms of getting work, because as I said, I am a freelancer and a
Mhm.
new one at that. And honestly, I don't have the like English qualifications as such, so it makes it difficult to get a get the work easily. So yeah, the main difficulty is in getting the work, getting the clients. But once I have them, I am pretty sure that I build such contacts with them, such relations with them, that they come back to me. And I have never faced any issue where an author was upset with my services, or didn't like it, or maybe had different opinions from me. Means there are a difference in opinions, but it can be resolved if both the parties are calm and like
Professional.
calmly, yeah, right, professional when they are telling their point of view. So yeah, I think that is easy when both the parties are equally helpful in that area.
As an editor, do you have any advice for new authors?
For new authors, it's just that first of all, write. Like if you don't write or if you don't just be confident enough about your writing, then you can't go any further. So first of all, it is write, and then don't show it to anyone. Like unless you are satisfied with your work, don't show it to anyone, because it always happens that when you are showing your first draft to someone, it is so full of errors. People will give their opinions, and you are demotivated.
Mm.
Like you can't really think that, oh, I had this. You always think that I had this great work and this is how people are reacting. I don't think it can go any further. But if you are sure about your work, if you have edited it yourself, and if you are very confident about it, then only show it to others, and then show to others who are supposed to give, like who are happy to give you the all the reviews or the criticism in a good way. Like there are people who are like, nah, this is very bad, and there are people, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. So no, neither of the two. Just choose the person who will give you honest opinions, and like pointer feedbacks, like this place was this issue, at this place I found this issue, so you might want to consider it. And then consider it yourself. Like after 4 or 5 people have read your book who you trust enough, then look at like go through the story again and see if their opinions are helpful to you. If you want to make those changes, then go for it. If you think that no, they are wrong, then obviously you will listen to your like what you think is right. So that, and finally, if you want to publish it, then go for an editor, because you like a professional will always be very helpful to you if you're gonna
Mhm.
publish it, like traditionally, especially.
And this is true for those who are self-publishing as well as traditionally publishing.
Yeah, right. Because ultimately, if you are going to give the book in the hands of a reader, he should not be disappointed, or he should not lose the interest halfway through that story.
Mhm.
So to maintain that interest, professional is very helpful.
Do you have any advice for anyone who may be interested in becoming an editor?
Yeah, actually, one major advice. Whenever I say that I am a freelance editor, people are like, okay, if you have some work, then give it to me. I have some free time, I have some weekends free, I can help you with it. And those people have literally never picked a book in their life. I just want to say that editing is not spell and grammar check. It is not. It is a lot more than it. There goes a lot of activities in finally giving a final book to the author.
Mhm.
So there is this fact check, the consistency check, the character personality check, their voice check, and everything while maintaining the vision of the author. So yeah, it's like it is not the spell and grammar check. So people who think that it is, then that is not an editor, and you can't be an editor like that.
Mhm.
So do be an editor. It is a great work, but be sure that you know the ins and outs of being an editor and what work goes in finally producing a book.
Last question that I have, what's the best part of your job? What keeps you going with this?
Best part of my job is reading. It is reading. It
Yeah, you
keeps
get
me
paid to
going.
be a nerd.
As I said already, like this is the reason why I left my job, my 9 to 5, which was technically 9 to 9 job.
Oh God, that
So
sucks.
yeah,
Like I work part-time just to keep the at a deli just to keep the bills paid, and I can barely stand that. But like, Jesus, you guys are
seriously, yeah.
insane. You know that,
So
right?
there are like 4 such companies with around hundreds or thousands of their like areas where they work in. So everyone is crazy. And it is not just those 4 companies, but there are several other in different fields as well. So I think, yeah, everyone is crazy when they are getting a stable job and all the perks as well.
Got to put food on the table somehow.
Yeah.
Was there, before we wrap this up, was there any final things, last things that you wanted to say to anyone who will be watching this?
do keep reading, and if you have a passion, please follow it. I mean, not necessarily when you think that you can't follow, like you have financial issues and everything. I understand that there are many issues, but ultimately make it your aim to go for what you really really dream of. It was difficult for me to do that, but I did it anyways. So just find your supports, find your well wishers around you, and you can do it.
Thank you, Falguni. I have linked everything in regards to getting in touch with her if you're interested in hiring her as an editor or just want to know a little bit more about her. All that good stuff is in the description of this video. Remember to click that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss next week's video. I don't have my schedule on me, so I have no idea what next week is going to be. It'll be fun to find out. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, lovelies.